I think you and I both agree we can't drive off the front of the pack. So the only other option is to pit with a group of cars and try to run our own speed, run wide open. We saw Toyota try to do this in the final stage. So if we just take a look, right? So we'll take a couple cars. That's the easiest way to do it. We'll say these two cars here are running. We'll take our car here, bring him to pit road. He'll come early with a group.
While he's there, this guy's going to be making his lap.
Yep, so he's out there running.
He's out there going along. He's going to get probably about to here before your guy can start to come off pit road.
So he's coming off pit road really, really slow. He has to come up to speed. This guy basically is going to come all the way around to try to catch them. And they're going to end up, we see this a lot, right? We're going to see kind of on the backstretch. We'll say
almost the back straightaway.
Yeah, almost the back straightaway. So this is why you think it's an advantage to pit later and not earlier, because now the car that pitted earlier is the blue car. The pack is the white Camry here.
Yes.
You think the Camry now has an advantage?
Yeah, because there's a situation here where there's a draft off of this white car. There's some air moving along here. And
so
now,
even though they're almost a whole straightaway apart, and you and I agree on this,
we felt like it was like 9 seconds. If you could be within 9 seconds of that car, you're seeing some of that momentum the car was pulling of air, and that means that you're not having to push that air. You get a little lap time, and that'll help you kind of move your way forward.
Well, then, and you brought this up, this is a great point. Let's put this car here. Let's say there's a couple stragglers that had a bad pit stop. Maybe they're a lap down, and what that's going to allow is a little bit of a leapfrog. This pack is going to get a draft off this car.
And then once they get here, they leapfrog this. Now they're that close to this car. And at this point, the pack now has momentum coming to you, and they're going to use you up when they get there.
Well, and why that all matters is because if we kind of reset the whole thing, if we pull back up to the rear bumper, you put this car here and this car here. Remember, when this car pits, he's going to come out basically a quarter lap in front, which is the whole idea.
Yes, that's the whole piece, and you've lost the advantage. Now, what we saw in the third stage at Talladega, the Toyotas actually executed this very cleanly.
They did. So we're in the third stage. One thing I think that forced their hand as I hit play is I really want you to look at the pack itself. So here's the pack going by.
They're the back half of the pack. And they're not in a position where they can just drive their way forward.
And single file mostly.
Yes.
Right? There's not a whole block of cars here, right? It's basically single file. So now this right here is the Toyotas. They're going to turn left and go down to pit road as we advance this. And I like this idea. We're going to do something different because, you know what? We're at the back of the field. We don't have track position. The field's pretty organized. And did a really nice job with quick gas and goes.
And this is the number I always felt like when we were doing it in the Ford camp. I felt like 7 to 8 was the number I needed to. If I got more than that, I had those stragglers we were talking about that allowed the field to leapfrog forward to me. But they executed this well, got back together. Tyler Reddick, you see him here, he's well ahead of him, but that's fine. He can run hard. This pack's going to get organized back here.
These four guys are going to get nose to tail.
And they'll catch him up, and he'll just pull them forward, actually help the whole group get forward.
And Clint Boyer actually pointed out because there was a little gap here between this group of cars and this group of cars, and what was so well done is kind of coming up to speed, the 19, and it might have been the 42, got a little side-by-side and let them kind of get all packed up. So that was the good.
Yes.
The good execution for the Toyota camp. Unfortunately, what was good turned bad just a few laps later. They're out here. They're making time. This caught my eye completely. Single file cars at Talladega never seem to wreck. This time they do. First of all, we can get into why I think this was different than normal, but overall, what'd you make of the wreck?
Well, it's one of those, that tunnel bump that they have in turn 3 getting into there, it's upsetting. It's probably the most challenging part. They're trying to make lap time and just cars getting bumpers to bumpers around that tunnel bump, that's a sketchy area.